Perfect.
Super.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. This is Guru here. Again, good morning, afternoon, or evening from where we're joining. This is the very first edition of the Bluecopa product tour. We will be covering a series of product demonstrations in this series, done by the team at Bluecopa. Without further ado, let me quickly introduce the men of the hour, Raghava and Neil. Raghava is the co-founder of Bluecopa, and no, he's an esteemed finance professional with decades of experience in this field. He's worked with multiple enterprise organizations like Wipro, HP Enterprise in financial roles, and did his leadership roles at Octobiz and Open before co-founding Bluecopa. Hey, Raghava, welcome.
Thanks, Guru. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, and Neil is also an esteemed sales leader with background in enterprise sales. He's worked in again a lot of enterprising organizations like Ramco, Netcracker, and then had another leadership stint at Octobiz and Open, and then co-founded Bluecopa now. Welcome, Neil.
Hi, Guru. Hi, Raghav. Glad to be
Lovely
here
seeing
today.
you folks. Yeah, lovely seeing you folks here. So I'll get this going. I'll hand it over to you folks to get this started. Over to you.
Super. Thank you, Guru. You have been a lovely host. So welcome to everybody across the globe. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Thank you for joining our first Bluecopa product tour. So, hi, Raghav. So picking up from where, Guru, gave your introduction, right? I want to take you to your user days as a finance professional, right? It might be some time back, but I'm sure the problems haven't changed. They are perennial problems. I have heard it multiple times from you, right? But for the sake of the audience and in terms of setting the context, please walk us through your experience as a finance user, what it was, and what are those big challenges that you faced that made you found Bluecopa today.
Sure. Thanks, Neil. I think it's a good start. Right. So I started in 2010 in corporate finance at Wipro. Right. Back in the day, most of the work used to be very manual, repetitive, error-prone tasks that used to happen. Again, the likes of Big Four have quantified it and said 70% of the work in finance is very manual, repetitive nature. That hasn't changed much, very honestly, right? When most of my network is in finance function only, given that I've been in finance for almost a decade now. When I talk to folks across organizations, across geographies, what's happening currently, it's still the same. While the whole evolution is happening from traditional finance to strategic finance, somehow the nature of work is still the same. That's one seed for us to start thinking deeper into why does this problem exist. How do we solve that? And a lot of discussions around that, research around that led us to start eventually Bluecopa.
Fantastic. Yes, I do resonate with all of this. Having selling enterprise solutions to teams across the globe, right? We definitely encounter finally the CFO signing the check, right? And I have seen that with my own eyes, with my own experience. How finance teams burn the midnight oil and still they have to kind of keep grinding, right? In fact, you walk into any organization, you will always see there's a war room and the finance folks are huddled in, right? So good. I think we're just getting started. So without much ado and boring folks with our story, why not give us a glimpse of how Bluecopa looks like, right? Sure the main more deeper questions. So over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Neil. We'll do that. I will do this, right? I will probably set the context for a couple of minutes and then, take everybody through the product, give an overview of, what we solve and things like that. And then we'll keep it open for any Q&A, right? Just from a vision standpoint, right, we are a finance operations automation solution, which means, we would really, try whatever it takes to automate day-to-day manual activities that finance teams do today, right? Which means they would get a lot more time on strategic initiatives rather than, struggling with day-to-day activities around collating the data, slicing the data, figuring out insights from the data, all of that, which consumes a larger amount of their time, right? Which is 70%, like the before folks put it correctly, right? So that's the larger vision, but obviously the scope that finance teams manage is much higher. So we'll need to build it block by block. The current block that we have is called real-time finance observability. That's what I'm sure you must be seeing in the backgrounds as well, right? What that means is that would really want to give finance teams the power of insights real time as they happen, so that actions can be taken on those insights rather than spending a lot of time in collating, slicing, dicing data and things like that, right? Also, there's one interesting trend that's happening, which is the proliferation of SaaS tools, right? SaaS tools are growing at 30 to 40% year on year. Even if you look at smaller organizations, typically Series B, Series A onwards itself, you would see nothing less than 30-40 different tools in organizations. Each function is using 2-3 different tools at bare minimum, right? So what's happening because of that is that data is getting fragmented across different tools, and finance teams language is not SQL, or language is not any other coding language. It's just the Excel. So fetching the data from say 20-30 different tools is not a thing that finance teams do. So there's a heavy reliance on data teams. There's a lot of manual to and fro happening because data teams don't understand finance and finance teams don't understand programming languages and things like that. So the problem is getting compounded as we speak. So with real-time finance observability, we will be one single source of truth for finance function in any organization. Not just from a data standpoint, we uncover insights, we build in collaboration, we build in data governance. Lot more workflow automations happen on top of data, right? Which is the power of the platform that we have at the moment. Obviously, it's an evolving product. You will see more and more features getting added, more and more use cases being solved. All right, but at a very high level, that's what real-time finance observability at the moment is, right? I will quickly take you through the product. Very excited to show you our first version, right? Looking forward to in having more such sessions in which space. Let me share
Absolutely.
Super, right? So this is the first view of the product. I will quickly outline the different sections in the product, emphasis on a few important points, right? Again, the idea here is to give you an overview. In subsequent episodes that we'll have on product, we will go into each of these sections in detail, right? Pick up use cases and uncover how do you actually solve those use cases with Bluecopa. So like I said, it'll be an overview. Right. So at a very high level, there are 6 sections in the product. We have home section. Think of it like a visualization section, which is where over a period of time, typically there could be 50, 100 different dashboards or PPTs or the reports like P&L reports, cash flow reports that would get built in finance function. The core ones, the important ones, can be pinged to the home section so that users can say walk into the office, open say for example revenue dashboard and see what's happening, right? I will get into the dashboard and one of the reports in a couple of minutes from now. And then we have alert section, which is one of the most loved feature again. So the platform automatically alerts you. It's user configurable as well, right? Any deviations from the normal thresholds, right? For example, month on month drop in say inventory levels, or week on week drop in order levels, or marketing actuals exceeding the budgets. Think of it, right? You can set it as an alert, and it can be a very micro level alert. Right? A particular geography or a particular campaign, marketing campaign level alerts also can be set. So the idea is you walk into the office again, the top say 5-10 things that have not worked or things that have worked, and then you can act on them immediately. So home section is predominantly the visualization. We have also integrated with AI side things, right? We call it junior. It's work in progress. Probably in subsequent sections, we'll show you how this works, right? This is predominantly to automate, again, a bunch of repetitive tasks, even within the platform. All right. And then we have inbox section. Think of it like your personal collaboration section as well, right? Any kind of alerts that you see can be looked into detail from this section. Also, there's a collaboration angle in the platform. So for example, say financial analyst sharing some dashboard with manager as an example, or CFO requesting for some additional information from financial analyst and things like that. All that communication can happen via the platform itself. Those alerts are also shown in the inbox section. Then we have the most important section, which is the workspace section. Think of it like the playground for finance teams, right? So it has two sections. There is a personal workspace section for each finance user, and then there is a shared workspace section from a collaboration standpoint. Uh, Again, just to ensure there is minimal change management from understanding how the tool works, we have ensured the whole workspace looks like folders, because that's how finance teams work today, right? There are a bunch of folders in laptops, and then there are a bunch of subfolders, Excel files, PPTs, P&L reports. We have taken exactly that approach to ensure there is very, very minimal change management. So like you can see, there are a bunch of folders here. I can uncover, or I can expand my personal space to see the different folders that are created. Right, I can get into one of the folders. You can see a bunch of, the pink one, think of them as PPTs or dashboards. The blue ones as reports, like your P&L report, cash flow report, and things like that. And the green ones as, Google Sheets or Excel sheets. Is that these are far more powerful, right? I will come to how it's powerful, all of that in a minute. So we have ensured, from a user change management standpoint, it's very, very minimal. Any kind of analysis, be it ad hoc or standard, can be done from this particular section. This is an important section, so I'll cover post the overview. And then we have library, right, which is where all the different custom reports or standard reports are all set in one place for users to consume. For example, these are different dashboards created across the platform, so it's easier to identify and then fetch these details. What you see here as the marked ones are all already mapped to the home section, and then there are a bunch of statements that were worked across the platform, and they're all here for your consumption and things like that. And then the beauty of this section is the template section, right, which is where predominantly large chunk of KPIs or metrics or the dashboards and reports that users would ever need are all pre-computed and kept here from users consumption standpoint. And for example, I just opened P&L, right? All the different KPIs or metrics that are needed to compute a P&L are already computed and kept here from user standpoint. So users can just come here and consume the data, right? For example, if you are getting into a review with marketing team, right? All you do is come here, choose a bunch of metrics that you need from a marketing review standpoint, create a dashboard of yourself or use existing dashboard that's there, and then get into a review. And rather than the current process, which is, go back to data teams, collate the data, then there's a lot of to and fro happens on the quality of the data, right? And then you see it slice, dice, and then you finally arrive at metric, right? All of that is gone. You just come to the platform, consume the insights, and then go ahead with your review. So it's that simple. So we covered 4 sections so far. We covered the home section, we covered the inbox section, we covered the workspace section, and then we covered the library section. Again, one of the most important section is the data section. This is where we integrate with pretty much every data source that you have, that you can think of, right? Predominantly at a very high level, there are 3 different data sources. There are third-party, apps like your ERPs, CRMs, marketing tools, HRMS tools, and things like that. We pretty much are pre-integrated with most of the tools that you can think of, or there could be in-house built tools or files like Google Files, Google Sheets, and Excel sheets and things like that. All of that, again, we are pre-integrated. We are integrated with all the databases as well in case there are no APIs and things like that. So all the different data sources are already integrated. So it's much easier and faster to onboard a customer, which means your the realization value from the platform is much lesser. Just to give an example, so these are again, this is not an exhaustive set, but these are some of the ERPs that we integrate with. As a user, you just come here, right, put in the details put in the login details, and then we automatically fetch the data given we are pre-integrated. So what happens is, once we, given it's a demo account, right, it's not connected to the live system. That's why you see a failed update there. But once we connect different data sources, then we consolidate the data. Consolidation is really important. The reason being, given the global nature of operations for most of the companies, right, beyond a point, there could be multiple tools for same function. For example, there could be 5 different payment gateways that a company uses, or there could be 2 different ERPs or 3 different ERPs that companies use for 2-3 different geographies that they operate in, or 2 different order management systems, right? In-house order management system, and say something like Shopify as an example, or WooCommerce as an example. So there could be multiple tools that organizations use for same functionality. Now, after we connect all of these tools, then we consolidate data. For example, I just click, billing section. So say if billing modules from Zoho and QuickBooks are used, all that the user needs to do is just link these two solutions, and automatically the billing data from these two different tools are consolidated, and then the data gets normalized, cleansed. All of that happens in the background, right? And then it gets mapped to one single unified model, which means you might have, say, two different billing solutions, or you might have five different payment gateways with multiple currencies, right? Different formats. That doesn't matter. We take all of that data, we cleanse the data, we transform the data, and we normalize and get into one single format. So your currency issues are taken care, right? Your different formats are taken care. You don't have to juggle across multiple sheets and things like that. So once you connect, we consolidate, and two very interesting bits of things that are next are the cleansing of the data. Garbage in, garbage out is a major problem. That's where the cleansing module really helps, right? Again, I'll not go in detail. We'll cover all of this in subsequent sections, but we manage pretty much different data, different structures that you might have, like transactions data or masters data, different hierarchies across different entities you have, or different currencies that you might have. All of that are managed from this section, right? There's a data cleansing module also that we'll cover in detail in subsequent sections. We automatically identify duplicate transactions, missing data points, exception transactions, right? Users also can input a lot of rules into it, like probably excluding a few vendors, including a few vendors, excluding a particular geography, right? You can think of an exception or a rule, you can add it to the platform. So cleansing the data is pretty much completely solved via the Bluecopa platform, because we strongly believe building workflows on top of even 0.1% inaccurate data is not going to fly. It's also 100% data accuracy is taken care via the cleansing module that we have. And then last in this section is the reconciliation part. Now one more challenge is that tools don't talk to each other. Your say the invoicing tool would not talk to your ERP doesn't talk to, say, your payment gateways, right? That kind of reconciliation, marrying data across different data sources is all done via the reconciliation section. So that's the data section. And then we have settings section, right? This is where governance is also taken care. You can add as many users as you want, right? Give data access at a micro level or at a transaction level, right? So for example, if you want to give data access to a particular financial analyst in your organization of only a particular product line in a particular geography only, right? That level of data access also can be given. You can revoke whenever you think you'll need to revoke and things like that. Currency is again managed beautifully from our currency section, right? It's a simple upload format or Google Sheet format that we have, right, which tracks historically all the forex rates, and automatically, right, all your different reports, your analysis captures the forex rate that come out of this particular section. And then the typical themes and workflows, all of that can be managed here. So that's predominantly the overview of the platform, right? Again, I will quickly show you one dashboard and one report, right, and then we'll conclude the demo part for today. All right, so I'll open one dashboard just as an example, right? So you walk in, you start your day, you just open a revenue dashboard, and then you see what's happening across your organization, right? From one single dashboard. Like an Excel, you can add as many filters as you want, right? So you want this dashboard to be for a particular product line or for a particular state, right? All of those filters can be added, and then the whole dashboard gets updated automatically. The beauty of this is, because we are directly linked to data sources, any analysis that you do, you never ever have to repeat that activity, right? Because your whole analysis gets updated automatically. So all you do is just come here, change the duration. The whole dashboard gets updated automatically, right? You want to do it for a quarter, last month, this month, right? Anything that you can think of, you can do from here. Not just at a company level, you can add as many filters as you want at a chart level also, right? Say, for example, sales by state is what I'm looking at. I'll want to go deeper into it, and I'll want to add more filters into it. I would want to change the visualization of it. I would want to change the currency of it. I would want to change the duration of it. Pretty much any slice and dice that you want, you can do from here. You can drill down to a transaction level also from this particular section itself, right? You can add as many levels of drill downs as you need. At the moment, I just took 2, but you can add 10 levels of drill downs if you think that's what is needed, right? To analyze in detail. The platform is, pretty much flexible that way. One last couple of last things on dashboard is the alert section, which is again very much loud feature in the platform, right? Which is where you add alerts at a very granular level also. Different thresholds can be set and different set of users might need to be alerted. All of that permutation combination can be done via the alert section. We will have a separate section just for alerts, right? And then there is lineage section. Again, tracing the data back to the sources is a very important factor that builds trust, which is where lineage comes in, right? You can see the list of different formulas that are used in creating this dashboard. Also, the lineage identifies the different data sources from which they are taken, right? And then what tables from these data sources, what has been used to compute these metrics. All of that is taken here. Lastly, I will show one, PNL. Again, the dashboard and PNL are worked in the workspace section. This is just a visualization aspect. So I've picked up from the home section. Again, the beauty of the PNL is this, right? It's very, very simple to create a PNL. Again, like dashboard, you can add as many alerts as you want, as many filters as you want. You can do auto variance computation from here itself, right? You can change the PNL into weekly, daily, monthly, whichever way you want, right? You can change the currency, automatically the whole thing gets updated, right? You can add as many, drill downs as you want in the PNL itself, right? You can put drill downs, like I said. You can dig deeper. You can put alerts at a line item level. You can compare, different timelines, different months, different periods, whatever you can think of. You can do that comparison, budget versus actual. You can pretty much, do all of this in a very simplified fashion. But like I said, right, I'll repeat why we are far more powerful than any other Excel or a Google Sheet is the reason that we are directly linked to the data sources. So it keeps getting updated automatically. The repetitive error-prone task, which consumes 70% of the time from a finance function standpoint, is all gone away with Bluecopa, right? And the accuracy is all taken care. Data is at your fingertips whenever you need it. So I'll pause here, right, and then see if there are any questions.
What I'm curious about, I'll rather now put you in the hot seat and ask a few hard questions, right? Given that we're still early stage, we have worked with, in fact, a lot of this that that you see is a result of us working relentlessly with our early set of customers, right?
Correct.
A lot of feedback they shared, we iterated with them.
Correct.
Our early set of customers are span across e-commerce, high transaction volume, logistics, right? SaaS company, B2B SaaS companies, gaming companies, all of that, right? So, now let me put you in a little bit of, spot. So what are the 3 things, or rather, what are the 3 most loved use cases that you see our customers using?
Masha, this is an interesting question, right? Again, this is a common theme that we have seen, right, after working with a lot of early customers, like you pointed out, Neil. I think if I have to pick the top 3, one is definitely real-time visibility into PNL, right? Now the challenge for most of the CFOs is that there is no visibility into PNL, say till say 10th or 15th of subsequent month. But with Bluecopa, CFOs get real-time visibility into PNL. And not just at a company level, right? You get real-time visibility into PNL if you want to drill down to a product line level or a particular geography level, a particular customer level, vendor level, transaction level. That level of slicing, dicing can happen on the platform, and all of that happening real time, right? That's one. Second, again, real-time visibility into all the key KPIs and burn parameters, given the macros, right? Given the emphasis on being very objectively or data-driven, approach that companies take. This real-time visibility into KPIs and burn parameters again has been one of the highlights of the platform. The advantage that finance folks see in this is that there are alerts also which can be set, right? Not just tracking the KPIs. If there are movements which are abnormal, right, or if there are movements that finance folks would want to know, all of those can be set as alerts, and then you just walk into the office, like I said, right? You figure these are the top 10 things that you'll need to work today, right, and on an urgent basis. So I think that's one of the most loved feature, because productivity increases right from the time you get into the office, rather than spending half the day figuring out what has worked, what has not worked, and then acting in the second half typically, right? The third, given the emphasis on data governance, right, given what's been happening again at a macro level across many organizations across different geographies, right, data governance is one ask that CFOs keep pushing. I think data governance is solved beautifully via the platform. Like I said, you can enable, disable whatever level of data access that you will need to give your teams, right? That's beautifully taken care in the platform. I would say these are the top three use cases, Neil.
Okay, just a quick question. So, obviously this is a tool that is used by the finance users, right? Do you also see
Correct.
some cases where this is being extended beyond finance to, say, a commercial team or a procurement team or a sales team?
Very honestly, absolutely, there is that ask also from a lot of customers, right? Given finance team has members for across the organization, right? There is a lot of marketing related metrics and analysis done by finance function. There is a lot of supply chain analysis done. There is a lot of HR side analysis done. So given there is a lot of data churning analytics, right, happening within finance function, there is definitely an ask to extend it to other functions as well. But like you rightly opened up the question, we are probably built for finance function, so that's the focus as we build the product.
Got it. Another very tough question that keeps coming at us, right? And we have been in multiple conversations with customers, multiple discovery calls with customers, right? How do you differentiate with a BI tool?
This is an interesting thing, right? I think once the users talk to us for a couple of minutes, they realize, okay, you're way different from BI tool. But typically the way it works is, again, 60 to 70% of the work that finance teams do is very ad hoc in nature, right? So suddenly a marketing review would come up. You will have to get into marketing review, or suddenly the CFO says, what's happening to payments of this particular customer, right? You will need to get the data and then start analyzing that part. Or there's some drop in the margin, as an example, right? For last week, you will have to get into the details of it. So there's a lot of ad hoc work that finance teams do, and that's quite large, right? 60 to 70% of the work. BA tools help in standard work, right? They'll probably give you some dashboards from where you can track the data, but custom reports, custom analysis is not facilitated via BA tools, because the language of BA tools is not Excel formulas, right? Finance teams understand Excel as a language, Excel formulas as a language, which is what the Bluecopa platform also adopted, right? So that gives them the flexibility to do any kind of ad hoc analysis on the go. So only BA tools are able to sort 30 to 40% of the requirements at a very high level again, right? It varies anywhere between 10 to 30 to 40%, right? Because of that reason, adoption of BA tools in finance function is quite less as well. The larger chunk, 70% of the custom requirements that finance teams have, is also solved via Bluecopa. So that's one major advantage, and it's purpose built for finance function, right? Because in interest of time, I haven't gone through detailed product, right? Feature by feature, when we cover in the next episodes, you will see how detailed we think from a finance user standpoint when we build a product, when we build the workflows, when we marry the data across different data sources and things like that.
Super. So but just picking up on your last statement, right? Marrying data from different data sources, right? So it's all about data, right? We are a layer on top of the different data tools in an organization, be it SaaS tools, be it flat files, or say enterprise applications, databases, right? So how does that really happen, right? We have seen in the demo, but does it require additional implementation work, or does it require additional work in terms of integrating with data sources, or what approach have you taken here?
Again, this is a very interesting thing, right? When we started building Bluecopa product, we had different approach, but after working with initial set of customers, what we realized is that given finance folks are really constrained on time, right? If you have implementation cycles of say 2 months, 3 months, and then larger enterprises which take about a year also to implement it, that approach would not work, given the timeline need to be really short. So we have taken a pre-integrated approach. So most of the tools that finance teams today use are already integrated into Bluecopa platform, right? Which means you just come to the platform and then give the login credentials in most of the cases, right? We automatically fetch the data, we transform the data, and then we get it into a format in which you can consume, and then we auto build a lot of reports and dashboards on top of that, right? So the interesting part is we have taken a pre-integrated approach, right? Again, not just collating the data from multiple sources. Once we integrate, fetch the data, garbage in, garbage out is also a major factor which is considered in our data transformation, right? Again, subsequent episodes will see all of that. We have ensured accurate data only flows into the final users day-to-day analysis. It all of that is taken. That heavy lifting is all done in the backend by us, which is actually solving the 70% of the time that's going in very manual and repetitive activities.
Got it. So hold your thought. So I'll take one audience question here, right? Somebody who asked, it is quite related to how you answered the last one. Is somebody who asked, how can I customize it to my need, right? So given once Bluecopa is set up in terms of the data rails and the data transformation is done, right? Do you foresee people or finance users, finance analysts, right, finance operations folks using it to their whims and fancies as to how ad hoc analysis comes up in their day-to-day life, or does it require a lot of hand holding or change management?
Absolutely, hardly any change management, right? That's why our whole approach has been Excel like, right? Because Excel is a language, like I said, that folks understand. Most of the analysis happens in workbooks. Workbooks, when we show you in subsequent sections, you will understand it looks like an Excel or a Google sheet, right? Excel formulas work on the platform, which means there's absolutely no change in the way that you operate today. Just that the data is all pre-fed into it, right? Whatever data you need can be pre-fed into it. It works on, say, we've tested on 50 million transactions, right? So that's the power of the platform as well. And because it's linked to your data sources, you never have to repeat your analysis. You don't have to cross-check and figure out if the data is right, wrong, all of that, right? It's beautifully taken care in the platform itself. From a change management standpoint, it's going to be very, very minimal, right? Once you see how it works, you can literally play with it, right? The way you currently play with your shortcuts and things like that in Excel.
Okay. I think I'll ask one more question, and then probably I'll hand it over to Guru as he's assimilating all the audience questions. I just picked up one because that was related to your last answer.
Yeah.
So what is your perspective on the scalability and reliability of the platform? Because and also security, right? Because when I talk to a lot of CFOs, finance leaders, right, people are paranoid about the data, right? Obviously.
Correct.
So
Yeah,
that's very natural, that's very human. So how are we addressing that? What kind of controls have we put in? Please share some light on that.
Sure. So scale is something that we wanted to tackle right from day one. All right. So the platform is built for scale. In fact, high transaction volume industries like e-commerce or logistics or financial services or gaming, right? There are a bunch of folks with whom we worked and built this product from scratch, right? And we have tested it on 50 million transactions, and the turnaround time to analyze this data is hardly 45 seconds or 50 seconds, right? On 50 million transactions. So from a scalability standpoint, the platform is highly scalable. That's where our bet is also that, say, if you are working with a growth stage company, as the company scales, the platform also should be robust enough to support their requirements at different stages, and all of that is taken care in the platform. From a security standpoint, we are obviously bank grade security, right? You think of any compliance reporting out there, we are already certified in most of the aspects there. So security is all taken care, right? And also from an infrastructure standpoint, right? Where is the data hosted? Your cloud, our cloud, right? Public cloud, private cloud, all of that is taken care, because the platform again is very, very flexible, right? We typically discuss with customers, given the dynamic nature of the platform, we are open to any kind of permutation combination from an infrastructure standpoint.
Got it. Guru, I'll just take one more that that keeps coming. me, right? Because a lot of customer interactions happen. So one word answer, right? A lot of our audience also wants to hear this. How much time does it take to implement Bluecopa and get started?
So, very honest answer is at the moment, right? It probably takes about 2 to 3 weeks. If you ask me the same question, say a quarter down the line, I'm very sure it will be about a week, not more than that. Again, the reason being, right? Companies have different ways of working and things like that. We typically take 2 3 weeks to understand if there are any different data formats in which they'll need, right? Understand a bit of workflows and customize and then offer it initial part. And most of it is self-serve. I'm sure users will figure out. We will also gamify a few things in the onboarding journey and then get it down to a week.
Got it. I'll kind of hold my fort here. No more questions from my side.
In fact, we would love to connect with more folks on that front, right? If anybody is interested to connect further, understand in detail, right? Understand how Bluecopa can really help them solve their use cases. Look forward to having all of those conversations as well.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Feel free to reach out. Our DMs are open, right? You can reach out to Guru, myself, Raghava. Our LinkedIn DMs are open. Twitter DMs are open. You can probably.
We are also on Threads.
Yes, we're also on Threads. Guru, you can probably share one common email address for folks to
Yeah.
reach out to. We're happy to take those conversations deeper, understand your way of working, and walk the talk with you.
So, folks, if you want to take this forward, have a personalized conversation with Raghava, Neil, or myself, you can just reach us out to this email address that I'm just sharing on chat. It's talktous@bluecopa.com. We'll be happy to get back to you with a personalized demonstration.
Super.
Right.
And I think
yeah.
I think we'll keep doing this right at a regular interval. This is
Yeah,
just the start of
yeah.
the process. We'll go in subsequent sessions. We'll go deeper into.
Correct. So what we did was to give you more like an experience of how the product would look like, what the interface looks like, what kind of functionalities do we offer at a high level. Down the line, Raghav and Neil will start doing more coverage towards each industry, like I mentioned, each role. Like let's say you are a CFO, or a head of financial planning, or head of strategy, head of operations. Irrespective of whichever role you're doing, we'll do different series and then cover you in those as well. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you to everyone who's joined. We all see you in the next one, which is planned for in a couple of months. We'll let you know when that happens.
Super. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks.